China isn't just battling floodwaters, it's sinking beneath the weight of its own lies. For decades, the government built a wall of illusions, grand dams, flashy infrastructure, and billion-dollar projects. But now, under the pressure of historic rains, that wall is cracking, and what's pouring out is the truth. Across provinces like Hunan, Hubei, and Guizhou, the collapse has begun. Dams once hailed as marvels of progress are disintegrating in real time. Entire towns have vanished overnight. Survivors huddle on rooftops, stranded without food or rescue, as roads and bridges vanish beneath the flood. This isn't a natural disaster. It's man-made. Over 80,000 dams, many built during Mao's Great Leap Forward with haste and shoddy materials, are time bombs long overdue. Experts sounded the alarm for years. No one acted. Now nature is finishing the job corruption started. We take you deep into the hidden rot of China's infrastructure crisis, falsified safety reports, dams held together by propaganda, and a relief system that fails the people when they need it most. From villages buried in landslides to shop owners watching their livelihoods wash away, the toll isn't just economic, it's human. Earlier this year, Chinese-made fake steel was blamed for a deadly building collapse in Bangkok. Now, the spotlight turns inward. China's own people are the victims of its hollow progress. Thousands of tofu-dragged dams, poorly built, barely maintained, are now cracking under pressure. In Yueyang, a shop owner sobbed as floodwaters consumed her store and life savings. In Sangji, a new business was destroyed the day it opened. In Badongshen, rivers surged 23 feet overnight, swallowing entire neighborhoods. The truth? China built more dams than any other country, over 98,000, but forgot to build safety, accountability, or compassion. Now, with over 400,000 displaced and entire communities wiped from the map, the reckoning has arrived. The floods are real, but the collapse that matters most is beneath the surface, where trust in the system has washed away. China's dams are collapsing, and so is the truth. Cracks are appearing, not just in the concrete walls of China's aging dams, but in the narrative the government has tried to maintain for decades. Thousands of dams were thrown up during past political campaigns, built in haste with poor materials, what locals call tofu drag projects. Hydrologists raised red flags for years. In provinces like Henan, experts like Chen Xingxing issued dire warnings, but no one listened. The result? Between 1954 and 2021, over 3,500 dams collapsed. That's nearly one failure per week, every week, for 67 years. In 2023, even a UN researcher rang the alarm again. Most of China's dams are now dangerously old and facing unprecedented threats from extreme climate events. But instead of protecting people, officials often protect concrete. Entire towns have been sacrificed in surprise discharges, unannounced flood releases that wash away homes and families. History repeats with brutal precision. In 1975, the Bangqiao Dam burst after no evacuation warning was given. Over 230,000 lives lost. The Chinese government hid the disaster for 3 decades. Fast forward to 2020, the iconic Three Gorges Dam, touted as a national miracle, was supposed to prevent flooding. Instead, over 54 million people were affected. The state claimed success, while devastation spread downstream. And then came the unthinkable. In 2023, the city of Zhuozhou was intentionally flooded to spare Beijing. No warning, no time to flee. Villagers were left to drown, not in water, but in silence. Disaster relief has become another form of betrayal. In 2008, after the Sichuan earthquake, most donations never reached survivors. Supplies sat unused. Corruption, not compassion, took center stage. Now in 2025, record floods are tearing through China. Dikes have failed, power plants are underwater, entire provinces are sinking, and the Three Gorges Dam is buckling under pressure, forced to release water into already drowned towns. Over 30,000 dams haven't even been inspected. The promise of national pride has turned into a ticking time bomb. The people no longer wait. Volunteers deliver aid by boat, on foot, because they know when disaster strikes, they're on their own. This isn't just a flood crisis. It's a collapse of trust, a breaking of the dam between propaganda and reality. Drowned in the dark, China's hidden flood crisis swallows ancient town. Fubao. Ancient town was once a riverside jewel, stone lanes, wooden bridges, and centuries-old homes lining Sichuan's calm waterways. Today it's gone, not in slow erosion but in one sudden, roaring breath. The flood came without sirens. No alerts, no rescue warnings, just a wall of water in the dead of night, swallowing everything in its path. By dawn, Fubao was no longer a town. It was a memory, sunken beneath thick brown currents and swirling debris. Drone footage reveals a haunting silence, only rooftops poking above water, trees bent backward, and entire streets erased. It looked less like a town, more like the aftermath of a war between nature and negligence. Locals say the rain had been falling for days, but no one imagined this. No evacuation orders, no sandbags, no preparation. The water rose faster than we could run, one elderly resident recalled. We didn't even have time to grab a flashlight. At the heart of this collapse are China's crumbling flood defenses, aging dams built during past political campaigns, many never reinforced, many built in haste. These tofu-dreg dams, fragile from the beginning, stood no chance. One by one, they gave way, unleashing devastation downstream. Fubao's destruction wasn't inevitable. It was engineered by decades of corruption, cut corners, and cover-ups. The water recedes, but the scars remain. Shattered families, lost heritage, and a government once again scrambling to control the narrative instead of the damage. And somewhere under that muddy surface, the ruins of Fubao whisper what the headlines won't. This didn't have to happen. Why does China keep flooding? The truth is buried beneath the surface. Each summer brings familiar horror, submerged cities, families clinging to rooftops, entire neighborhoods swept away. And every year people ask the same desperate question. Why does a country with nearly 100,000 dams still drown like this? The answer isn't just structural, it's political. And it began decades ago. From the 1950s through the 1970s, China rushed to industrialize under Mao's vision. Dams were thrown up by the thousands, quickly, cheaply, and recklessly. Safety protocols were ignored. Engineering was replaced by ideology. Concrete was poured without plans. And so were born the tofu-dreg dams, fragile relics of a time when loyalty mattered more than logic. Warnings came early. Experts like Chen Xing predicted disaster, only to be silenced. Their fears proved valid. More than 3,840 dam failures have occurred since 1954, a deadly rhythm of collapse almost every week for 7 decades. The worst disaster was hidden for 30 years. In 1990, the Bangqiao Dam in Henan failed, triggering floods that killed over 230,000 people. But the truth didn't emerge until 2005, not from the government, but from survivors and foreign researchers. The silence was deliberate, and the pattern continues. In 2023, the city of Zhuozhou was deliberately flooded to shield Beijing. Residents had no warning, no time. Their homes were sacrificed without consent. The message was clear. Protect the capital, no matter the cost. Even China's most iconic dam, the Three Gorges, is now under scrutiny. Sold as the nation's ultimate flood shield, it couldn't stop the 2020 floods that affected 54 million people. Officials claim success, while villagers watch their homes vanish beneath muddy water. Behind every failed dam lies deeper rot. More than 3,800 are considered high risk today. Tens of thousands have never been properly inspected. Corruption, fake safety reports, and neglected maintenance have turned aging infrastructure into silent threats. And when disaster strikes, the state's instinct often isn't rescue, it's suppression. After the 2008 Sichuan earthquake, donations disappeared into bureaucracy. Survivors lived in tents while aid spoiled in storage. China's Red Cross became infamous for betrayal, not relief. Now ordinary citizens step in where officials don't. Volunteers bring food and medicine into flood zones themselves. No one's coming to save us, one man said, so we save each other. This is not just about rainfall. It's about systemic failure, decades of ignored warnings, crumbling infrastructure, and a government that hides truth to protect power. China's flood crisis is no longer a surprise. It's a symptom of a deeper collapse that no dam can hold back.
recent years, China's economy has spiraled downward, leaving devastation across every sector. Waves of bankruptcies have swept through the country. Once glorious entrepreneurs now crumble under mountains of debt. Many have turned to social media to bear their pain, sharing haunting stories of collapse, despair, and abandonment. A female real estate tycoon breaks down over bankruptcy. On Chinese platforms, video after video shows broken business owners recalling their rise and their ruin as the collapsing economy crushed everything they built. Zhong Yuyan, chairwoman of a Jiangsu engineering firm, revealed in one video that she once partnered with real estate giant Vanke back in 2013, involved in nearly all its local projects. At my peak, I was making a small goal, 100 million yuan, every year. I was surrounded by friends. Every meal cost tens of thousands. I spent money like water. She recalled owning multiple properties, homes, shops, office buildings, with assets once exceeding 100 million yuan. Now she's drowning in over 30 million yuan of debt. Zhong said her downfall began after 2019, when she invested tens of millions into Vanke, Evergrande, and other real estate ventures, all bearing prestigious Chinese names. The money vanished. Projects stalled. Payments frozen. Everyone is stuck. Accounts receivable became the biggest wound. A vicious cycle, she said, holding back tears. I used to be surrounded by friends, classmates, sisters. Now I eat alone. No one invites me anymore. Everyone avoids you. That's the cruel truth. The pain hit hardest when she thought of her children. All I've left them is debt. I have no capital left to give. Another boss runs from debt. And from life. On May 25th, Lu Donglin, chairman of Donglin Decoration Engineering Company, appeared in a video confession. Once a billionaire in assets, now buried under more than 20 million yuan in debt. He fled his hometown with nothing but a 130,000 yuan watch and a 500,000 yuan car.